Hey, how's it going, guys? Stonewall here with Raised by Sharks. Today, something big happened in Monster Hunter World. The Spring Blossom update started, and that means that we get this bad boy, the Wyvern Ignition. Now, mathematically, it is by far the strongest greatsword in the game, possibly one of the strongest weapons in the game, and we're going to show you a build to bring out its most effective use. So obviously the starting point is the weapon, the Wyvern Ignition Impact. It has 1008 attack, negative 15 affinity, base white sharpness with 2 augmentation slots. In those augmentation slots you would want to put in the first one being affinity and the second one being attack. The charm you're going to use is the Critical Charm 1. The helmet you're going to use is the Dragon King Eye Patch A for a large slot and 2 weakness exploit. The chest you're going to use is the Dobermail B for a large slot and 2 attack boost. The gauntlets you're going to use are the Nergigante Vambraces A for 2 agitator and 1 attack boost. The waist you're going to use is the Nergigante Coil B for a medium slot and 2 attack boost. And finally is the Nergigante Greaves A with 1 small slot, 1 maximum might, and 1 agitator, and it also gives you the Nergigante Hunger set bonus. So the core jewel for this build is an Elementalist jewel. It gives you the Elementalist skill, which gives you a plus 10% attack bonus to your weapon. In the weapon you're going to want to throw on an attack jewel and an expert jewel. Then on the waist you're going to throw on a tenderizer jewel, and the legs another expert jewel. Up on the helmet you have a flex spot. On this spot you could put a handicraft like I personally am, but if you want some more raw damage you can throw on a critical boost jewel or a maximum might jewel or really anything else that you need. The actual white sharpness on this weapon, even though it looks small on the bar, is not terrible. It's only a sliver smaller than the 2 handicraft skill levels on a Leviathan build, and the Leviathan build I personally use myself. It's really not that bad, so 1 is all you'd ever need for this weapon to really use it effectively. But also, if you're really all about that 1 true charge hit and then sharpening, you can go with another critical boost. I'd also like to point out that if you can get a second attack jewel, and they're incredibly rare, but if you do get one, I would personally suggest slotting in another attack jewel over this expert jewel in the weapon. And then if you were using a critical jewel, instead of using a critical boost jewel, slot in maximum might for the 10% affinity and higher attack instead. But if you're going with handicraft, just straight up swap out for the attack. The final skills that you get from this set are Nergigante Hunger set bonus, attack boost 6, weakness exploit 3, agitator 3, critical eye 2, critical boost 1, handicraft 1, but like I said, that's a flex. It could be another critical boost or maximum might or really whatever you slot in there. 1 level of maximum might, and the non-elemental boost. So I mentioned that the Wyvern Ignition Impact is the strongest greatsword in the game. That is 100% true. If you put the weapon into a true raw calculator, which factors in the raw, the sharpness, the affinity, all the skills in your build, the augments, everything. If you put it in there and then figure out what the final damage that you get from your build is, the strongest that you'll really see from a Leviathan build, which is one of the endgame builds, is about 410-ish. You might get a little higher depending upon how perfected your build is, but about 410 is what you'd expect. From a Jagras hacker, you'd expect about 412 to 414. From a Devil Joe Greatsword, the Anguish, you can expect high 410, so you might get like 416 if you're lucky. This build right here is going to give you a final attack of 437 with the handicraft jewel, or if you go with the others, you can potentially reach almost 460 final attack, and that's also not including the meal bonus, or the demon drug, or any of that. That's just the flat stats. So when you factor those in, because of the white sharpness, it beats out the Jagras hacker a little bit if you didn't bring that up to white, and it beats out some of the other weapons in the game. This weapon is so strong that it is the strongest greatsword build that you can make by about 10%. This build right here will beat any other greatsword build that you could find by about 10%. I'm just talking about previously. If you find somebody else with a really nice Wyvern Ignition build, it might be around the same area. This one's probably a little stronger because I really worked on this a lot before the weapon came out, so this is about as good as you're going to get. Let me know in the comments below, though, if you see any things that you'd like to change around or what you did with the build. I know a lot of people like to go with the health augmentations and combine that with the Nergigante set bonus. Let me know what you did with the build below in the comments. If you like what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe to Raised by Sharks. As for the Wyvern Ignition, it is so strong that, again, it is the strongest greatsword in Monster Hunter World. Hands down, no questions asked, no arguing about it. It is 100% the strongest. As for comparing it to other weapons, I have seen very, very few weapons on perfected builds be able to touch this build. 450 final attack is an absolutely mind-boggling number. Alright, that's all we have for the Wyvern Ignition and the build for it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the Spring Blossom update. Thank you for watching Raised by Sharks. Remember to leave a like and subscribe for more.